I would let everyone else know.
It's pretty easy for a fast expand. It's pretty easy.
Oh, because it has the ramp at the natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so spawning in the top left position here, we have NrG.Listal, who is up 1-0 to our green Protoss from XGamers, who is Dunne. We'll see if Dunne can bring it back. He had an interesting strategy with some early Stargate play, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do enough damage to successfully take down Listal.
Absolutely.
It always seems like he's one. So we'll see if that holds true for this time around, or if it's going to play a little bit differently.
We have the early probe scout again. It really just
We have a very fast pool, though.
Oh, what was that?
I think that is what a pool?
That was
7 pool?
Yeah.
7 pool.
That is a super fast pool. That's interesting. That is very interesting. He's going to be very happy to know that it's not cross positions, too. He's going to see the close by air. And that pool is going to be very nice. Though, Dunne is going to see that, because he has his probe walking right into the base, so he should be able to see this and prepare for it.
He is, but that is a pretty fast pool, so he's going to have to be extremely aggressive here.
He needs to get this.
He's going to have to do some forge. He's going to have to
There's
do
the
some
forge.
Fast gateways here as well.
I think
we have our 6-lanes already on the way.
He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He gets the forge down as fast as he can. Now he's going to put a cannon right in his mineral line, where he can cover as much of the nexus and the mineral line as possible. But he just needs to make sure he gets it up before the Zerglings get there. The 6 Zerglings are out, and they are on their way. The forge is almost complete, so it looks like he is going to get this maybe just in time, if not a tiny bit late. So we will see.
Yep, it's going to be precarious. And this is going to clinch also on being able to get that nexus, or being able to not lose that pylon as well. So it looks like Dunne is proactively building a gateway there just to make it much harder for that pylon to go down.
And he's going right for the forge. But Dunne is going to be able to get a cannon up right in his mineral line before that forge drops. So really, I think all he's going to do is lose a forge. I'm really surprised Listal didn't try and get in and try and do some damage before that cannon finished. So this isn't actually going to end up being super effective.
You know, he might still be able to take out that gateway.
Yeah, that gateway does look potentially exposed. We'll see. Oh, the assimilator is also exposed. I like how he's just kind of sitting there testing the water. It's like, what can I attack?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's a very smart cancel.
Be able to get everything aside from the mineral line, I think.
And it looks like,
So it looks like he is going to try and transition out of this.
Yeah, he is.
He has started droning there, so he did just drop his pool. Or, I mean, his hatchery.
His hatchery. Looks like he is going to be able to do some damage to this assimilator, but we do have a zealot up now. So the zealot's going to kind of be able to push them off, and it looks like this pool, all it's going to do is stop the early expand. So it really didn't do a ton of damage.
Maybe that's what he wanted to do. I do think he could have gotten that gateway, though. I think before that zealot got out, I think he could have gotten that gateway. But, I mean, he's also just going to be annoying, and it did, Dunne definitely, I think, likes to go for the fastest expand. He did see that last time around, and I think he chose this map. A lot of times he probably did choose this map because it is so easy to fast expand on. So it might have really messed up his play to have that situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He is getting his expansion down now after he is safe. It looks like things are going to settle down and everyone is going into a macro sort of play.
Yeah, and all said and done, Listal isn't super behind on workers. He's behind a little bit. He's behind by 6, but I think now that he's got that second hatchery up, he's going to be able to recover that pretty quickly with a couple rounds of droning.
Absolutely, but what I'm interested to see if we're going to see Dunne go with some sort of 6-gate timing attack at this point. Once he gets the expansion down, up and running, and just a big sort of gateway ball push to punish that sort of early aggression. And it looks like Listal is actually already caught up in drones. Although, at this time in the game, the Zerg usually should be ahead.
Yeah, but, neither player really has units that much, so he doesn't necessarily have to worry about getting units out, so he'll probably continue to drone.
Absolutely.
And he's got another round of drones here. He's going to have the 2 hatcheries up, so he'll be able to get pretty ahead. Not too long here. And we do have nice Overlord placement by Listal, so he's going to see if there's any Void Rays or air that come out of the base, or, things like that. He might be able to send this Overlord in later on to see what tech choices there are. I believe, I guess he does see it. There's just nothing. I think you could actually send a stalker there. Oh, yeah, there it goes.
So we do have some spine crawlers coming up right at the front for Listal to get him nice and protected, as well as Lair is being started.
Yep, Lair and then Robo Facility for our Protoss. So that's a faster Lair. I'm thinking maybe Muta.
I don't know, though. He's already got the 1 cannon in his mineral line. So...
Hydra?
I don't know.
I did go Roach Hydra last time.
It still could be Muta.
Could be it.
It still could be Muta, so I'm definitely not saying that's definitely not it, but...
Well, he does have... what's sort of why I was thinking Muta, so we do have these extra 2 extractors up, so he's going to use 4 extractors, which is pretty heavy gas. So, if he's starting... And right now he doesn't have anything that requires gas. So
no Roach Warren up.
And Roaches are
whole bunch more spine crawlers. He is walling this off like a champion. That is 6 spine crawlers right at that natural. So he doesn't want any sort of attack coming in. Infestation pit.
Alright,
so
investors.
Or he is going fast hive to get broodlords, which actually wouldn't surprise me. He may be going just a super fast hive play. Oh, cancel on the infestor pit, and he is going with a spire. So he's even fucking with us.
Well, I think what happened there was he just sent in this overseer here to see what he could see.
Oh.
So he saw the robotics facility, saw the gateways. So I think that's about when he canceled the infestation pit and went fire instead. So I think that based on that, he's making different choices here. That
makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. We do have a warp prism coming up, so we are going to see some warping into the main. The Overlord is going to see that depending on... Well, it's an Overseer now. Depending on the path he chooses to take. But he's definitely going to want to try and bypass this giant spine crawler wall.
Yeah, regardless of which path he chooses with his warp prism, it's going to get spotted because he's got both his Zelnaga towers.
Yeah.
This Overlord's in a great place, so he's really doing a nice vision and using his Overlords to help him know what's going on. He even has 4 lings down here to check for the third, and those lings are actually what spotted the warp prism there.
So where did the warp prism go?
There is the third up for him over here, and that observer did see it, so the warp prism might go and try to take out that third. Oh, it's trying to be sneaky, but it
right over
spotted by another ling.
You know what he's going to try and do?
Like 3 times.
He's trying to, he's going to try and force field the ramp and get him caught, but he's already reacting to that. He's getting all his spine crawlers down, warping in a ton more units with that. So let's see, the mutas are up. And we have a whole bunch of lings, which are probably going to get the surround on all these units, and this drop should be cleaned up pretty easily.
However, it was a 2-pronged attack, so that warp prism did do a nice distract job, and then this larger army down here was able to take out the third really effectively.
So that did work out.
Nice. He did lose, I don't know if it...
Oh, that Colossi was almost very exposed to lings. We do have a counterattack with both mutas and lings coming in. So he's caught out of position. Let's see how much damage that these can do. It looks like they're going to be able to take out both those pylons on those gateways, so he's going to lose all of that production. And they are going to continue, and it's going to try and take out a whole bunch of other pylons. Oh no, he is going for the workers. And there are really not a lot of stalkers in sight to deal with this. He also doesn't have blink, so it's going to be kind of hard for him to deal with the mutas without blink. And meanwhile, the Lynx were actually running down, checking for a third expansion for the Protoss player. So it really looks like he's just going a ton of Mutalings. Do we have a hive in production yet? We do not. So it looks like he's going to stay on Mutaling for a little bit now. We do have one Colossi up for Dunne, and it looks like no more Colossi coming out right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I think of the Colossi, so I think that that's maybe why Dunne is also not sure about that being the right choice here.
Because currently it's mainly just Mutas and Lings.
Yeah. And Mutas are pretty good against Colossi, since Colossi cannot pew-pew up either.
They cannot. They cannot.
You know, and the other thing is these Mutas are just so mobile, and it's forcing a lot of cannons here. And, you know, it's not like Dunne really has an excess of mineral. He doesn't really want to be spending it on cannons, but he feels really vulnerable so that he needs to. And he is vulnerable. I mean, you know, Mutas do a lot, and they can really harass very easily.
He is chrono boosting out Blink, so Blink is going to help him deal with those Mutas, but I feel like, if anything, an Archon or two would probably be his best defense against Mutas, because they do so much damage when the Mutas get clumped. We have a whole bunch of Lynx moving across the map. Looks like they're going to try and deny this third base, but there are a ton of Zealots here, which are able to block the ramp, so those Lings are going to run away without doing their job. But the Mutas were attacking in the main at the exact same time, but with the Stalkers he was able to repel that.
Yeah, it's like he needed to go to the main with Lynx, although that's a lot of Stalkers, and then to the expansion with the Muta. Looks like he's going to be bringing down the Muta there and probably going in for an attack with all of them. Although those Lings are going to get negated because there's a lot of force fields there, so...
We do have a fourth base coming up for Listal, so he's getting that fourth base. He's going to try and stay one base ahead of the Protoss player, but it looks like those Mutas came around and those Stalkers showed up right at the perfect time.
Yeah, so the next thing that I like that Listal's doing here, so he's going to try and, you know, just prevent the Protoss from taking out more, or to getting more expansion, so that's why he's dropping creep there. You have to wait for the creep to go away after you kill the Overlord in order to be able to drop your next, your next Nexus here. It looks like we've got a bunch of Changeling Zealots running around in the base here, so they know exactly what's happening.
Yep, and the Mutas were harassing the natural, and it looks like they're coming around to the main, but there are no minerals left in the main, so they're not going to be able to do a ton more damage there to workers.
Yeah, I think a lot of the workers got pulled or just not transferred. There were 20 workers on that one patch of minerals there for a little bit, so I'm not quite sure how long it's been like that. But...
And this is a game of the Zerg player having Mutas and Lings, so he's really unable to win a straight-on engagement. And the Protoss player, he really just needs to stay in his base to stop the Muta-Ling harassment. So there's not a ton of aggression going on. Well, ton of engagements going on either side. So really just poke in, poke out, and that's really it. We do have Baneling speed coming up, which is very interesting. So it looks like we're going to see some Banelings try and take out all those Zealots and Stalkers, but we do have more Colossi coming back out. As well as...
doing a good job of staying ahead on upgrades, whereas our Zerg player is a little bit behind and he's a little bit scattered. He's, trying to upgrade air and ground, so that's going to keep him behind in upgrades.
He is going to lose some Overlords here that were spreading the creep, but it's not going to supply block him. He has more than enough Overlords to deal with a couple losses. The Mutas tried to get in on the third while the Stalkers were away. It looks like they did a little bit of damage, not a ton though. And we've only
I think it could be pretty important though here, because that's not, he's really only, it's keeping him from consistently mining two bases by having to constantly pull his workers.
As well as
even though he's not killing probes, he's still
denying
some of the income.
At the same time, he's also forcing Dunne to stay in his base. Dunne, every time he tries to push out, he has Mutas killing stuff in his base. So,
and in the meantime, we have a Hive, so we might be seeing, Broodlords, something like that.
We have 25 Banelings in production.
And they are going right into the Nidus network, it looks like. So, know, I did comment earlier on in the game at the very beginning. We have these beautifully placed overlords here. They will probably have a role to play soon with Nidus.
And we get to play the game of Where's the Nidus. But the Protoss army is pushing in, so he's not going to be able to use that Nidus. Those are some beautiful force fields to deny those Banelings, but it looks like everything is going to surround them. Stalkers blink away. The Mutas are trying to take out the Colossi. So many Baneling hits on those Zealots, but there are still so many Stalkers left up, and there are only Mutas left for the Zerg player. So it looks like he is morphing a ton more Banelings, and now he's going to try and make use of that Nidus network. So my guess is the Nidus network shows up on the right where he's making the fourth, where he has those bunch of overlords. We do have a fifth canceled for Listal, and we get to play the game of Where's the Nidus very soon.
Yeah, and that engagement out here was really nice on Listal's part. He was, the Stalkers were able to get away to blink, but I think that actually did more harm than good, because then it left the
Zealots
Colossus really just completely vulnerable, and the Muta were able to, take them off, and then the ricochet from the Muta attack was very effective as well.
And the Mutas are denying that fourth base, and it looks like I was right. The Nidus is exactly where I said. It is right in the fourth base in that little corner. And that sound is...
I wouldn't be surprised to see multiple Nidus, actually, but...
That is a terrifying sound when you hear that, by the way.
So we have a Nidus going down at so it'll be going into third. We also have one going down in the main.
The one in the main has been spotted, so he's going to try and kill it with 2 workers, which may not work out very well.
Not enough.
And it looks like he is going to lose his third base to that Nidus. There's so many units, so many Banelings coming out of that Nidus, and it looks like they're all going into the main right now, where he's warping in a ton of Zealots, which all get taken out by a couple good Baneling hits. And this Colossi is all alone, and he is going to just get destroyed. Although, that Colossi survived. I actually don't like Banelings against Colossi. They're so inefficient. That was like 6-7 Banelings, and the Colossi is still alive.
Yeah, I mean, Colossi especially, maybe with proper positioning, but in general, Colossi are going to do pretty well against Baneling.
So it looks like Listal has taken a fifth, but is a Bronze League-style fifth, where he has spine crawlers surrounding it.
So many Banelings here. We have, 40 Banelings just running in.
Just killing so many units. They look like they're just... Oh, excellent blink micro. Oh, he blinks up on the high ground so the Banelings can't get him. What an excellent move by Dunne. That was a brilliant move with that positioning. I really like that.
Actually, the Colossus just keeps getting the short end of the stick here. They're just left. They're like, hey, I want to blink too.
He really needs to go Archons, to be completely honest. Those Archons will prove so useful, and Baneling Archon exchanges are just as bad, if not worse, than Colossi. And there's the GG by Dunne. I'm actually a little surprised by that GG. I mean, he was definitely behind.
Well, he had no income. I mean, that's really what it came down to.
Yeah, he had no third.
So his production was completely stalled. Well, and his main was mined out, and his